Hello students, how are you? So today's topic for our video lesson is conjunctions. What does you mean by junction? So railway junction, a traffic junction. What do you mean by that? So conjunction also does the same kind of work of a junction in English grammar. So railway junction or any traffic junction joins or facilitates the joint of two roads, two railway tracks or many railway tracks. Okay, in the same way, conjunctions act as a bridge between two different sentences or two different words. They help to join the two sentences or two words. So, as now you know the meaning of conjunctions, let us see this. Now you see, conjunctions are words used to connect single words or a group of words. A group of words is called phrase in a sentence. They also used to join clauses or short sentences in a single sentences. Okay, just read the definition once again. Conjunctions are words used to connect or join to single words or group of words. Okay, a group of words may be a phrase or two single words are joined by conjunctions. They are also used to join clauses, short sentences in a single sentence. So two different sentences can be joined using conjunctions. So here we have taken examples, general examples. So look at the words in bolded format and underline. They are in bolded, they are bolded and underlined. Please look at those words. They are called conjunctions. She lives on the diet of milk and fruit. So here, as the definition suggests, this conjunction and is used to connect two single words, milk and fruit. Okay, on the diet of milk and fruit, they are connected, they are joined together using the conjunction and. Okay, next, she wanted to read but she did not have the book. Now you see here in the second example, there are two sentences. There are two sentences. They are joined together using one conjunction that is acting as a joining point. Okay, a connecting point. She wanted to read, but she did not have the book. Okay, she wanted to read is one sentence and she did not have the book is another sentence. Both are being joined, connected by the but. Next, neither Raj nor Ravi has the courage to enter the cave. So here the conjunctions are neither nor. Two words. Neither nor. Neither Raju nor Ravi has the courage to enter the cave. So please look at those sentences carefully and think about them. So because you have been using all these conjunctions every day in day-to-day life also, but so these conjunctions very simple. Alex and Robin are playing together. Alex plays well, but Robin plays better than him. I play cricket and Robin plays football. When he was sick, I went to see him. So sometimes like this, in this sentence, conjunctions come not only in the middle of the sentence, they come at the beginning of a sentence also. Okay, when here it is a conjunction, but it comes here at the beginning of the sentence. In all these sentences, it is in the middle, but when it comes at the beginning of the sentence. Okay, you can write it like I went to see him when he was sick. Okay, you can also write like that. I went to see him when he was sick, or when he was sick I went to see him. But you see, words using sentences using and cannot be written like that, and can never come at the beginning of a sentence. Okay, here also but also comes only at the connecting point. Generally it is at the middle of the sentence, but here when it can come at the beginning or at the middle of the sentence. Okay, now so conjunctions. So there are three types of conjunctions. How many types? Three types of conjunctions are there: coordinating conjunctions, correlative conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions. What are they? Coordinating conjunctions, correlative conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions. Okay, so let us see one chart here. So this explains simply about the three types of conjunctions in a very, very simpler manner. Okay, okay. So conjunctions, three types given in three boxes: coordinating conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions, and correlative conjunctions. So what conjunctions come into these different categories are also listed in the boxes. Okay, for example, coordinating conjunctions, the green box, the headline is with green. In the green box, coordinating conjunctions are given. So they are abbreviated like FANBOYS, fan boys. for your good memory. They are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. So these are coordinating conjunctions. Okay, these are coordinating conjunctions, and these are the most widely used conjunctions. Okay, in general simple English, those who don't know great English can also use these, can also use, and they use in their mother tongue also. In mother tongue sentences also they use these words, these conjunctions: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. So these can be abbreviated, or they can be made into acronym fan boys. Okay, next, subordinating conjunctions. So these are it is not that there are only these conjunctions in the entire English language. No, there are many hundreds conjunctions, but these are, I think, most important. They are most relevant, that can be used in any conversation in our language. Okay, subordinating conjunctions: after, although, as far as if, as long as soon as though, because, before, even if, when, where, wherever, even though, although, if, in order that, since, so that, then, though, unless, until, wherever, whereas, while. So you may get confused that some of these conjunctions we have been using them as prepositions in the previous chapter. Prepositions also, some of the conjunctions are there, and in adjectives and adverbs also we use, and nouns and pronouns. Okay, sometimes we use them in that also, but don't get confused. If you look at them carefully, you can understand. Correlative conjunctions: either or, not only but, neither nor, both and, whether or, just as. So like this, there are so many things, but please remember this box. And if you save, if you want, I can send you this PPT also through WhatsApp. So through PPT you can learn better in a shorter span of time. Once, if you see the video once and save the PPT in your system or in your phone, you need not watch the video again and again. Just by reading the PPT, you can understand the subject. Okay, next, coordinating conjunctions. So as we have seen in the box, in the picture, the job of coordinating conjunctions is to join two words, phrases, or independent clauses which are parallel structure. There are 7 coordinating conjunctions which are by far most common, as I explained to you in the earlier slide. These are same: fanboys. Okay, fanboys. So one important thing about coordinating conjunction is parallel structure. They join the sentences or clauses with parallel structure. Okay, not contrasting but parallel structures. Okay, let us see examples. We went to the stadium and enjoyed the cricket match. So there are two phrases or two sentences here. First is, we went to stadium, we enjoyed the cricket match. Okay, we went to the stadium, we enjoyed the cricket match. But these two phrases or sentences are joined using the conjunctions and then it became one sentence, one single sentence. Next, do you want an ice cream or do you want a chocolate? Okay, there are two questions here. Do you want ice cream? Do you want chocolate? Same structure. Do you want ice cream? Do you want chocolate? They are joined as, do you want an ice cream or chocolate? He wanted to see me, so he came back. I want to come, but I don't have time. I want to come, I don't have time. Two different sentences expressing a single thought. Okay, then they are yoked together. I want to come, but I don't have time. Next, correlative conjunctions. Correlative conjunctions. So correlative conjunctions use a set of words in parallel sentence structure to show a contrast or to compare the equal parts of a sentence. The words of correlative conjunctions have special conjunctions between them. Okay, so there are two words in these correlative conjunctions. There are two words. Okay, like not only but also. Both these words are three words. Both these are placed in the different parts of a sentence to make the sentence meaningful, to make comparing and contrasting. Okay, let us read the definition again. A correlative conjunction uses a set of words in a parallel sentence structure to show a contrast or to compare the equal parts of a sentence. Okay, as it says, set of words in parallel sentence, not a single word. Okay, here they are single words acting as conjunctions, but here not a single word but two or three words, a set of words used as conjunction. For example, no sooner than, they come as a set. Without each other they cannot function. Okay, no sooner must have than, then only the meaning of the sentence can be obtained in a right manner. Okay, in the same way, whether or, they are placed in different parts of a sentence, not continuously, not only but also. As long as. No sooner did we sit down to dinner than the phone rang. It does not matter whether you read the book or not. Whether or. You must clean not only your room but also the kitchen. Not only but also. This becomes a set, not only but also, to give a perfect meaning. You can stay here as long as you want. You can stay here as long as you want. As much as, it is also there. You can eat as much as you want. Come to the class as early as possible. You can stay here as long as possible. You can eat as much as you like. As long as much as soon as great as. You can write any number of things. As great as. I am as great as my brother. Next, there are some more examples. Neither Alex nor Robin can play baseball. Neither nor. Both and. I want both ice cream and chocolate. Both and. When both comes, and also must come. Neither nor. Neither Alex nor Robin can play baseball. I want both ice cream and chocolate. He ate not only the ice cream but also chocolate. Okay. He ate not only the ice cream but also chocolate. Neither Dhoni nor Rohit could save the match. Neither nor. Not only but also. Neither nor. Not only but also. Either or. Either or Modi should become PM. Either Modi or Rahul should become PM in 2024. Okay. These are correlative conjunctions. They come in set of groups. Next, subordinating conjunctions. These subordinating elements of an unparalleled sentence. They join elements of an unparalleled sentence structure. These elements are usually a dependent clause and an independent clause. So, when there is one independent clause and one dependent clause, then subordinating conjunction is used. And most commonly used subordinate conjunctions are after, how, than, when, although, if, that, where. So, you can see all here. Insomuch as, unless, while, because, provided, until, who, whom, before, since, what. So all these are subordinating conjunctions. So when do we use subordinating conjunctions? When there are two clauses, one independent and one dependent. Okay. In the previous slide we have seen the sentence structures were same for coordinating conjunctions and correlative conjunctions. For subordinating conjunctions, the sentences are not parallel. They are, one is dependent clause and one is independent clause. So let us see examples. Before we left home, I had my breakfast. So here, before we left home is a dependent clause. I had my breakfast is independent clause. Okay. Provided they come, this is dependent. We can start class Tuesday. This is independent. When he was washing my car, this is dependent clause and this is independent. Okay. Unless you accept our conditions, you will not be given the job. Here, unless, and it begins with dependent clause. Since he is an Indian, he can travel to any part of the country. The protest will not stop until the culprit is punished. Now you see conjunctions. Subordinating conjunctions, comparison. So these perform all these functions: comparison, than, rather than, whether, as much as, whereas. These subordinate conjunctions are used to indicate comparison. And again, after, as soon as, until, whenever, now that, these indicate time. Concession, though, although, even though. Relative pronouns, who, whoever, whom, whomsoever, whose. Next, reason, because, since, so that, in order to. So look at the table, look at the boxes. So condition, if, only if, unless, provided that, assuming that. So some conjunctions, subordinate conjunctions that indicate place, where, wherever. Here relative adjectives, that, whatever, which, whichever, manner, how, as though, as if. So some of you might be in a confusing state because you do not generally know about what is an independent clause and what is dependent clause. So a clause that can form a complete sentence standing alone, having subject and predicate. Okay, what is independent clause? That doesn't depend on any other thing. It can stand alone as a sentence. It can give a complete meaning. You don't ask further questions after listening to the clause or sentence. Okay. For example, here, he ran, I cried. They make a complete sentence, though only 2 words. They make complete sentence. Okay, they don't need any other to explain about it. He ran, I cried. They are independent clauses because they make perfect sentence, a complete sentence. Dependent clause is a group of words that can also contain subject and a verb, but it is not a complete thought. So what is dependent clause? It is not a complete sentence. It doesn't give complete meaning. It cannot stand on its own as a sentence. Okay. For example, look at this. Because I woke up late in the evening, this sentence, this clause cannot stand as an independent sentence because it is not complete. After this, we will ask what happened. You have to give an answer. It is incomplete. When we arrived in the class, what occurred? It doesn't make any sense. It is incomplete. We need answers. If my neighbor does not pay his rent on time, what will happen? We have to add something, some more of the sentence to make it look like a complete sentence. Because I woke up late in the morning, I missed my breakfast. When we arrived in the class, the class had already begun. If my neighbor does not pay the rent, he will be asked to vacate. Okay. So, dependent clauses, independent clauses. Dependent clauses do not make a complete sentence, complete meaningful sentence. So they have to be dependent on another sentence, another complete sentence. Okay. Next, in the same breath, we'll also complete interjections today. An interjection is a part of speech that demonstrates the emotion or feeling of the author. So generally, what is an interjection? It demonstrates, it indicates the emotion in the sentence, the emotion of the reader or the author. Okay, it is generally the emotion of the author is expressed through these sentences. And most of the times, even without interjections, a sentence can be written even without these interjections. But these interjections enhance the quality, enhance the emotion in the sentence. You can feel the emotion by looking at the or by the placement of the interjection. Okay. Generally, happiness, sadness, surprise, suddenness, shock, grief, all can be expressed through these interjections. Alas, I am lost in the wilderness. A kind of shock, grief. Ah, that feels wonderful. Bah, that's a total waste of time. So only by expressing the interjections you can understand the sense of the complete sentence. Bless you, I could have done it. It's time for me to go. Cheerio, happy thing. Okay, this is happy thing. Congrats. Alas, alas is about sadness, surprise, shock. Cheerio, this expresses happiness. Good grief. Why are you wearing short in the winter? Oh dear, don't you know what to do about this mess? Shoot. Well, duh. So, these are some of the interjections. Okay, you need not worry about the interjections because they don't play any, especially don't play any part in, don't play any great part in parts of speech. Even if they are not used, you can write a sentence. You can express your grief, you can express your surprise even without these interjections, these exclamations. So, but if we use these exclamatory marks or interjections, we can make the sentence look more perfect and meaningful. Okay, so today's I think we'll stop today's class here.